Many people, perhaps even you, fill their plate with broccoli, mushrooms, and other foods that science recognizes as healthy, believing they're protecting themselves from cancer. They prepare salads, soups, and repeat advice they've heard here and there. But there is an uncomfortable truth almost no one talks about. In most cases, the real power of these foods never actually gets activated inside the body. It's as if you had an army ready to help you, but without the tools it needs to do its job. We've been told over and over again what we should eat: fruits, vegetables, whole grains. Yet very few people explain the most important step: how to make those foods truly release their benefits. Because having a treasure is useless if you don't know how to open the box. And most people, without realizing it, leave the key lying around every single day. I'm Dr. Gabriel Mena, and for more than 25 years I've worked with people who want to improve their health through nutrition, especially those already in a stage of life where every choice matters. For decades, I've focused not only on which foods support the body's defenses, but on how to multiply their effects. And today, I want to share a simple method I use every day in my practice that can completely transform the way you eat. It's not a complicated theory or a strict diet. It's a small adjustment in how you cook, an adjustment that turns the foods you already have in your kitchen into a powerful resource to strengthen your body and make it harder for cancer cells to thrive. What you're about to learn may change the way you see food forever. Welcome to my channel. Here we talk about holistic health, longevity, and natural, easy habits that help you maintain physical, mental, and emotional balance. So take notes and share this with your family and friends to help them improve their health. We upload new videos every day, so subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any updates. Before we continue, if you find this content valuable, something as simple as liking or sharing the video helps this message reach more people who need it. Thank you sincerely for being here and taking care of your health. Now let's get into the topic. Think about this. Organizations like the WHO and the World Cancer Research Fund estimate that about 1/3 of the most common cancers are directly linked to what we eat. This isn't about bad luck. It's about strategy. Cancer needs energy, building blocks, and pathways to grow. If we understand that process, we can intervene. We can interrupt those supplies. We can reduce the conditions that allow it to thrive. The problem is that most people are fighting at a disadvantage. They buy the famous broccoli, boil it until it's soft and dull, thinking they're doing the right thing. But what they don't know is that this cooking method destroys the very enzyme that activates its most powerful protective compound. And that mistake, which is extremely common, drastically reduces its benefits. But here's the surprising part. Not only are there ways to preserve that key, there are even ways to enhance it. And there is another food that's even more powerful, with an even simpler mechanism, capable of blocking important processes that favor cancer at different stages. This is the key point I want you to understand today. Eating healthy is not enough. We are surrounded by recommendations, endless lists of superfoods, and contradictory advice. Adding a salad or a piece of fruit each day is excellent, but it's only the beginning. The real issue is that we haven't understood the biology of food. Foods are not inert objects. They are living systems full of compounds, fibers, and enzymes that interact with one another and with your body. Many components with anti-cancer potential are not ready to use immediately. They are inactive, waiting to be released, and they need a trigger. Take broccoli and its relatives, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, as an example. They contain glucosinolates. By themselves, they're interesting, but the real star is sulforaphane, a molecule with extraordinary potential to support cellular defenses. But for sulforaphane to form, glucosinolates must meet an enzyme called myrosinase. And inside the plant, these substances are stored separately. They only meet when we break the plant's structure by cutting or chewing. That moment is when sulforaphane is born. But if you take freshly cut broccoli and put it directly into boiling water or cook it too quickly in the microwave, the myrosinase is destroyed. Without that enzyme, even if the raw ingredients are still there, the transformation doesn't happen. You absorb only a fraction of the protective compound. The same thing happens with other foods, like garlic. It contains alliin and the enzyme alliinase. When you chop or crush garlic, alliinase creates allicin, the compound that gives garlic its power. If you swallow the clove whole or cook it immediately after peeling, that reaction never takes place. This is one of the biggest obstacles. You invest time and money eating healthy foods, yet the way you prepare them destroys much of their therapeutic potential. And it's not your fault. No one explains this. Understanding it gives you control. Here's the second problem. While you try to eat healthy, your body may be dealing with a silent enemy, chronic low-grade inflammation. Think of it as an alarm that rings quietly every day. It's not a large fire, but it wears down and confuses your immune system. And that environment is ideal for cancer cells to grow. What fuels that inflammation? Refined sugars, white flours, industrial seed oils, ultra-processed foods, and processed meats. This creates a paradox. On one hand, you try to eat healthy foods but deactivate them by cooking them incorrectly, and on the other, you continue eating foods that ignite the fire of inflammation. It's like trying to put out a fire while someone else is pouring gasoline on it. Let me tell you something briefly. Not long ago I saw a 72-year-old woman, Marta. She prepared broccoli every day because she wanted to protect herself from cancer, as she told me. But by boiling it for more than 15 minutes and combining it with a lot of processed foods, she unknowingly canceled much of the benefit. When I explained a few simple adjustments, her energy, digestion, and overall wellness improved noticeably. That kind of transformation can also be possible for you or someone you love. Before we continue, I want to invite you to subscribe, activate the bell, and share this video with someone who needs it. Every day you'll find clear, practical information to improve your health in a real and simple way. Over many years I've learned that this is not about an anti-cancer diet, a phrase that often confuses people. It's about a smarter strategy, using food as a tool to influence the different stages of tumor development. To do that, we need to understand how it works and how we can intervene. And in just a moment, I'm going to explain those stages and how each one can be influenced by your food choices and preparation methods. When we talk about what truly fuels cancer, it's essential to understand that everything begins in the DNA, the instruction manual that guides every one of our cells. Every day, that manual receives thousands of hits: environmental toxins, UV radiation, and of course, substances from unhealthy foods. Each hit can leave a mark, an error, a mutation. Fortunately, our body has a natural repair team that fixes most of these damages. But when a hit strikes a gene that acts as a brake, a gene that keeps cells under control, that repair system can fail. And that's when a cell can become damaged, initiated, like the first spark that opens the door to a future tumor. At this stage, our nutritional strategy focuses on protection. We need to defend our DNA as if it were a treasure. That's why antioxidants play such an important role. Substances like vitamin C, vitamin E, the polyphenol in green tea, the compounds in grapes, and even the ergothioneine in mushrooms act like a shield. They neutralize harmful molecules before they can cause deep injuries. Eating foods rich in vibrant colors is essentially surrounding your DNA with guardians. Then comes the second stage, promotion. An initiated cell is not cancer yet. The problem begins when that cell starts copying itself. It's like a spark falling onto a material that catches fire easily. This process can advance for years without producing symptoms. And what fuels those flames the most is exactly what we've been talking about: chronic inflammation. That inflamed internal environment works like fertilizer, allowing damaged cells to spread. Hormones play a role as well. When we eat too many sugars and refined flours, insulin rises frequently, and that signal acts as an invitation for certain tumors to grow. Cancer cells are especially demanding when it comes to sugar. They consume enormous amounts of it. Keeping a constant flow available is like adding fuel to the fire. That is why, in this phase, our strategy changes. We shift from focusing solely on protection to slowing down expansion. This is where compounds like sulforaphane in broccoli show surprising potential. It not only helps protect DNA, but can activate a mechanism in which the damaged cell eliminates itself, a process known as apoptosis. It's like reminding the cell that its cycle has come to an end. Curcumin, found in turmeric, has similar properties. And at this stage, removing excess sugar and ultra-processed foods becomes essential to avoid creating an environment that favors these altered cells. The third stage is progression, when the cluster of cells has grown enough to be considered a tumor. But to become a true threat, it needs two things: a constant supply and the ability to travel. This involves two key processes: angiogenesis and metastasis. Angiogenesis is the mechanism that allows a tumor to create its own pathways to receive nutrients. When a tumor wants to grow, it sends chemical signals requesting new blood routes, almost as if telling the body, "Build me highways." The body, unaware that it's helping the enemy, creates blood vessels that go directly to it. Once that network is in place, the tumor grows without restraint. What's even more concerning is that those same highways allow some cells to detach, enter the bloodstream, and travel to other organs. That is when metastasis occurs, which is the main reason cancer becomes so dangerous. For this phase, our strategy focuses on blocking those supply lines. The good news is that many natural foods contain molecules capable of interfering with this process. Berries, green tea, turmeric, pure cacao, and, as we'll discuss in more detail, mushrooms can help prevent the formation of new blood vessels. It is essentially leaving the tumor without food. These insights give us a complete map: antioxidants for the first phase, anti-inflammatory foods for the second, and angiogenesis inhibitors for the third. And here comes something even more interesting. Some foods, when prepared correctly, act on all three phases at the same time. They're like the great leaders of a nutritional army. And now I want to introduce what I consider one of the most complete options: mushrooms. As we saw earlier, we now understand the common mistake people make with broccoli. It's time to show you my favorite trick. If I had to choose one single technique to use food more intelligently, it would be this: cooking mushrooms properly. It may sound overly simple, but behind that simplicity lies an incredible strategy. Mushrooms, whether common or exotic, belong to neither the plant kingdom nor the animal kingdom. They are their own world. And in that world, they store powerful tools. They are the richest source of an exceptional antioxidant called ergothioneine. Some experts even refer to it as the longevity vitamin. While other antioxidants get depleted quickly, ergothioneine can continue working repeatedly. It protects DNA and mitochondria, the energy factories of our cells. However, this treasure is trapped. Mushrooms have cell walls made of chitin, a material our digestive system cannot fully break down. If you eat them raw, much of their benefit passes through unused. Within that structure are special compounds known as beta-glucans. And here is the key: heat breaks down those tough walls and releases the beta-glucans, making them available to your body. Cooking mushrooms is not just about flavor, it's about unlocking their medicinal potential. And what do beta-glucans do once they're released? This is where it gets fascinating, because they act in all three stages of the process. First, they help balance the immune system. They don't overstimulate it or throw it off balance. They make it more precise. They activate defense cells such as macrophages and especially NK cells, which are responsible for identifying and eliminating damaged cells. Beta-glucans help them work better, as if equipping them with better tools. Second, they block angiogenesis, the process through which tumors try to build new blood routes. It's like cutting off communication. The tumor asks for reinforcements, but the message never arrives. Without those new vessels, the tumor becomes limited and isolated. And third, some studies show that compounds in cooked mushrooms may help induce apoptosis, supporting the natural removal of damaged cells. So something as simple as sautéing them or adding them to soups unleashes a powerful set of benefits: ergothioneine to protect DNA, beta-glucans to strengthen defenses, and compounds capable of limiting tumor growth. Not long ago I had a patient, Ernesto, a 68-year-old man who had been trying to improve his diet. He told me he was eating raw mushrooms in salads because he believed they were healthier that way. When I explained this simple detail, he changed the way he prepared them. A few months later, he told me he felt more energetic and less inflamed. Small changes can produce big results. Even a scientific review from Pennsylvania State University, which analyzed more than 19,000 people, found that those who regularly consumed mushrooms had a much lower risk of developing cancer. And the most impressive part is that even with just 2 medium mushrooms a day, there was a significant difference. And the best part is that this trick is affordable, easy, and delicious. You can sauté them with garlic and olive oil, add them to stews, or roast them. Mushrooms are versatile and fit into almost any dish. Now let's combine this with the solution to the broccoli problem. What comes next can transform both your kitchen and your health. When you're trying to improve your health and want to give your body real tools to take better care of itself, there is a very simple detail that makes a big difference: the way you prepare your food. Today, I want to explain a very practical technique I use daily with my patients to get the most out of certain compounds found in common foods like broccoli, cauliflower, and garlic. This simple method can help you cook more intelligently and maximize your meal's benefits. I call this technique chop and wait. As I mentioned earlier, broccoli and other similar vegetables contain a substance that activates thanks to an enzyme that is very sensitive to heat. This enzyme works best when you give it a little time before cooking. So all you need to do is chop broccoli, cauliflower, or any cruciferous vegetable and, instead of placing it directly into the pot, let it rest for a few minutes on the cutting board. 40 minutes is ideal, but even 10 or 15 minutes allows that enzyme to act and form compounds that remain stable even after cooking. Garlic works in a similar way. If you chop or crush it and let it rest for a few minutes before adding heat, you allow valuable substances to form. So it's not about eating everything raw all the time. It's about giving these foods a moment to activate their internal chemistry. Think of your kitchen as a small laboratory where, with patience and practice, you can unlock benefits already hidden within your ingredients. When you combine this trick with the proper cooking of mushrooms, you're using two complementary strategies. In mushrooms, heat releases their compounds. In cruciferous vegetables and garlic, time before heat allows those compounds to form. You're taking advantage of the natural biology of food instead of working against it. Now I want to expand this idea with something I explained in a previous video, a set of foods that, according to available scientific literature, may support several processes related to inflammation, metabolic balance, and cellular health. Today, I want to review them with you so you can understand them as part of a complete strategy. The first group is garlic and onions. They help feed beneficial gut bacteria, which produce substances that support internal balance. The second group is cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. With the chop and wait method, you make the most of compounds that may support the liver as it processes substances the body needs to eliminate. The third is green tea, which contains molecules widely studied for their role in supporting certain cellular processes. Berries such as strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries are packed with antioxidant compounds. Turmeric, when combined with a bit of black pepper, has been widely researched for its relationship to inflammation. The sixth group is cooked tomatoes, which release more of a natural pigment that some studies find interesting. After that come whole grains such as oats, quinoa, and brown rice. Their fiber is essential for healthy digestion and for supporting beneficial bacteria in the colon. Eighth are legumes, lentils, chickpeas, beans. They are affordable, nutritious, and full of fiber and plant compounds. Then we have fatty fish like salmon and sardines, which contain fats that help maintain a healthy internal balance. Nuts and seeds, like walnuts, almonds, flaxseed, and chia, provide plant-based fats and polyphenol. Number 11 is properly cooked mushrooms, which we've discussed extensively. Then comes dark chocolate with a high cocoa percentage, which in moderate amounts can provide valuable compounds. Citrus fruits follow, offering vitamin C and other flavonoids. Olive oil, especially extra virgin and used at low temperatures or raw, provides key polyphenol. 15 is seaweed, which contains minerals and unique compounds that are being studied more and more today. And finally, pomegranate, with its distinctive phytochemicals examined in various types of research. You don't need to eat all of these every day. What matters is rotating, combining, and varying. One day you can make a lentil soup with turmeric and mushrooms. Another day, baked fish with chopped and rested broccoli and a simple salad. Every plate becomes an opportunity to support a more balanced internal environment, one less favorable to inflammatory processes that interfere with overall well-being. Throughout this video, we've reviewed practical ideas, how to cook mushrooms to release their compounds, how to activate the benefits of broccoli and garlic, and how to integrate foods that work in complementary ways. The most important part is changing the way you think about cooking. It's not just about what you choose, but how you treat it, how you combine it, and how you incorporate it into your daily life. I remember a patient I saw a few months ago. She had many doubts about making small changes in her routine and felt everything was too complicated. I taught her these two simple tricks: cooking mushrooms properly and letting chopped cruciferous vegetables rest. The following week she told me, "Doctor, for the first time I feel like I can actually do something for myself from my kitchen." That feeling of regaining control is incredibly valuable, and that's exactly what I want to share with you today. If this content has helped you, given you clarity, or encouraged you to improve your nutrition, I warmly invite you to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, share this video with someone who needs it, and leave your comment. We upload new content every day, always with practical information designed to help you make better decisions. And I also want to invite you, from the heart, to give thanks to God for life, for the opportunity to learn, and for giving us the strength to keep taking care of ourselves. Thank you for joining me. Here on Dr. Gabriel Mena's channel, we are truly happy to contribute in a small way to your well-being and help you build better habits. Tomorrow we'll have a new video filled with useful and easy ideas to apply. Don't miss it. You'll always find a warm, friendly space here, created with you in mind.